5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program.
From our About Space Today World Headquarters, I'm John Gomez. This week in space, a massive solar eruption affects Mercury. SpaceX celebrates another Starship milestone test launch. And everyone is excited about the eclipse on April 8th. But will Mother Nature cooperate? These stories and more next, as America and the world is listening to About Space Today.
Come to the land of orange groves and palm trees. Come to the land of theme parks. Come to the land of sunny beaches and the azure waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So come and visit Florida for lasting memories. Email us. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com or call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631 for your next family, cruise, or theme park vacation. Let us provide you your next visit with our travel experience, not experimentation. We are members of IATAN and CLIA. Email david.ddcruiseandtours@gmail.com. Serving the Southeast, traveler since 1985.
Welcome back. Around 7 p.m. Eastern Time on March 9th, spaceweather.com reported a gigantic fiery eruption on the sun's far side. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, SDO, spotted the eruption and said it likely spanned around 310,000 miles across. SDO data showed that the explosion, which likely left behind a massive canyon of fire on the sun's surface, also released a large coronal mass ejection, or CME, a fast-moving cloud of magnetized plasma and radiation that collided with Mercury on March 10th. So what is the CME? Well, take a listen.
Forming massive expanding bubbles of hot gas that escape the gravitational pull of the sun, CMEs can travel over 1 million miles per hour. Although this is slower than the speed of the light and materials emitted by solar flares, coronal mass ejections can have much more dramatic effects on Earth. They have the potential to overload power grids, disrupt communication channels, and interact with Earth's own magnetosphere. So astronomers pay close attention to the rare CME pointed toward Earth.
Okay, but what would happen if Earth was hit by a coronal mass ejection? Well, nothing good.
It wouldn't be the solar flares that sent us back into the pre-technological era. It'd be the giant clouds of hot plasma and electromagnetic radiation that the sun spews out. This is a phenomenon known as a coronal mass ejection, or CME. In 2012, a powerful CME shot through the Earth's orbit. Luckily, we missed a direct hit. We weren't so lucky back in 1859, when the electromagnetic radiation of another CME set telegraph pylons on fire. The telegraph. That's really all there was for technology at the time. But now, our entire planet is deeply reliant on electricity and electronics. If a solar storm that strong were to strike today, we'd be in a much worse situation. It would start with an enormous explosion on the sun's surface. The solar flare would zap the Earth's upper atmosphere with a giant electromagnetic pulse. This would block radio signals between the Earth and our orbiting satellites, but it wouldn't damage them just yet. Not until minutes to hours later, when a stream of charged particles started bombarding the Earth's magnetosphere. These particles would hit some of the satellites and damage their electronics. Our communication systems would begin failing. But the worst is yet to come. After anywhere from 12 hours to several days, a cloud of plasma would finally reach the Earth. First, it would hit NASA's ACE satellite, designed to warn us about the upcoming storm. Even with that warning, we'd only have about 30 minutes before that space cloud rained down on our magnetosphere and triggered a geomagnetic storm here on Earth. Hopefully you're not in an airplane at the time, because its GPS system would fail and your pilot would have to start navigating without it. On Earth, the geomagnetic storm would start to melt our power grid transformers. Do you know what that means? A global power outage. Not much fun for all us power-hungry humans down here. All the lights would go out. You wouldn't be able to charge your phone or your laptop. Your fridge would stop refrigerating, and your heater would stop heating you up. Make sure you have some spare cash because all the ATMs would be useless, just like your credit cards. Most likely, you wouldn't even be able to flush your toilet, since in most modern cities, water supply is controlled electronically. Anything and everything relying on the internet would shut down. No banking services, no internet access in the transportation system, and no social media to vent your frustration in. We can't control the space weather. If the sun were to send us a direct hit, this hypothetical scenario would get real. Almost real.
The eruption that affected Mercury is the latest sign that the peak of the sun's 11-year solar cycle, called the solar maximum, may have begun much earlier than was forecast. One of the biggest concerns during solar maximum is that researchers can't properly monitor the far side of the sun, which can harbor giant sunspots that unleash surprise solar storms like the one that just hit Mercury. Now, it's possible that these sunspots could swing around to face Earth as the sun rotates, exposing our planet to flares and CMEs. One secret weapon NASA has up its sleeve to prevent being caught out by these unseen dark patches is the Perseverance rover, which can sometimes spy on the sun's far side from its home on Mars. But this only works when Earth and Mars are located on opposite sides of the sun. So let's hope that if a CME is detected, we at least get a warning before the lights go out.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On March 14th, Pi Day, for those of you keeping track, SpaceX conducted the third test launch of its Starship rocket. People lined up on the beaches around Starbase, Texas to take in this unique opportunity, and boy were they not disappointed as all 33 Raptor engines lit up on Super Heavy as the rocket soared off the launch pad. The onboard cameras captured some truly remarkable images from the vehicle as it not only successfully completed stage separation, but went suborbital before burning up in the atmosphere on return. Unfortunately, the first stage engines didn't fire properly, leading to splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico at about 1,100 kilometers per hour. Congratulations to SpaceX and the Starship team on another successful test launch. This reporter cannot wait to see what they are able to accomplish next. Finally this week, if you're like us here at About Space Today, you're excited about the solar eclipse that's coming on April 8th, just a few short weeks from now, and we're also excited to bring you coverage as well. But there is one question on our minds. Will Mother Nature cooperate? Well, it's a little too early for a forecast, but our friends at Fox Weather have some updates. Guys?
And we're officially just 4 weeks away from America's total eclipse. On April 8th, a total solar eclipse will be visible in the United States from Texas all the way until Maine. More than 30 million Americans estimated to live in the path of totality. Love that saying, by the way. We don't get to say it often enough, but millions more are expected to travel to the 15 states where the event is going to be fully visible. We're still a few weeks out, but the hype is obviously leading up to the event is causing a little bit of chaos and hysteria for those locations.
It's kind of wild, Zach. Multiple Texas communities have issued disaster declarations ahead of America's total eclipse. Kerr, Bell, Travis counties located within central Texas are in the path of totality. They're expecting swarms of visitors that could triple their current population. So as a result, they're worried about traffic congestion, strain on first responders, hospital systems, and then just a drainage of fuel supplies and food supplies.
It's amazing. We were talking to an emergency management official, And he was saying they've been planning this for the last 2 years. So that's how much preparation has gone into a declaration.
They still don't have enough water.
I know, it's unbelievable. And Americans are already booking and planning their travel to capitalize on getting the best view. According to Airbnb, the site has seen a 1,000% surge in traffic for cities along this path. And for listings from April 5th to 8th in comparison to last year, it's incredible. And we're not just talking about homes, also a 40% increase in things like campers and yurts. Yurts is not something that usually comes to people's minds, but here you have it.
Yeah, I mean, anything to make a buck if there's a totality coming on through. Flights also getting in on this, right? Not only for those traveling, but those who just want to witness the celestial event from 30,000 feet. Delta's offering a second totality flight after the first one sold out in 24 hours back in February. The second flight is from Dallas-Fort Worth. It's heading up to Detroit. It still has main cabin seating available for $700. Other airlines like United and Southwest have released information pointing passengers to certain flights or routes that they have that are either in the totality or partial.
Thanks again to our friends at Fox Weather for the update and the information. Stay tuned to About Space today as we get closer to April 8th and a total solar eclipse. Hey, make sure you check out our Facebook page, aboutspace.today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Libsyn, and more. Be sure to join David Denault every month for a special report, and Don Meyer every Friday for America in Space. Whether you're listening from the International Space Station or just on your phone, thanks for joining me. I'm John Gomez, and you just learned a little bit about space today.